Hey guys, welcome into another edition of 2911, a faith experience. I'm Brian Christopher Clay. Glad that you're here, and I'm glad we're on this journey together, seeking those concrete ways of discipleship in the world, seeking ways to use the gifts that God has placed in all of us. I'm convinced that the gifts God has placed in each of us, well, those are God's gifts to the world through us. So we're going to use them. We're going to get out in the world today and be God's hands and feet on the earth, okay? Another edition of 2911 starts now.
Precious gift of love you gave to me, and for your perfect sacrifice I now dedicate my life, and with a grateful heart I give it back to you. Open up my heart to your spirit in return for all the peace you gave my soul. When I was blind and couldn't see, you sent your son to rescue me, and with a grateful heart gave my life to you, to you, to you. Baptized in the water, cleansed by the set aside for a holy purpose and grounded in love, in the name of the Father, the Spirit, and the Son. Blessed to be a child of the Holy One. So now I vow to seek your wisdom, to grow in grace and daily walk with thee, so that the world will see in me the Lord of lords and King of kings. And with grateful hearts, they'll give their lives to you, to you, to you.
So let's get to it. Let's get to it. See if you remember this, or if you remember hearing this. In the event of a decompression in the cabin, the oxygen mask will automatically appear in front of you. To start the flow of oxygen, pull the mask towards you, put it firmly over your nose and mouth, secure the elastic band behind your head, and breathe normally. Although the bag does not inflate, oxygen is flowing to this mask. If you're traveling with a child or someone who requires assistance, Secure your mask on first, and then assist the other person. Keep your mask on until a uniformed crew member advises you to remove it. Yeah, if anyone has ever traveled by commercial airplane, you've heard that speech. And it's usually part of the pre-flight safety and instruction presentation. It includes where the exits are, how we're supposed to adhere to the lights telling you seatbelts on, seatbelts off, etc., all that stuff. How to handle yourself in an emergency situation. Yeah, you've heard the speech. But it always has been very interesting to me, this deliberate and intentional thing that they say. If there's an emergency and the oxygen masks drop down, and you're traveling with a young child or maybe someone elderly, someone differently abled, someone who needs assistance, if that happens, you use the oxygen mask first and then help the other person. I've always envisioned this like extremely chaotic and hectic situation where the plane is almost out of control, it's in distress, there's no cabin pressure, you could barely breathe, everybody's in there and they're screaming and they're yelling, and you look at your loved one, your child, your grandparent, and they're in distress as well. And you're supposed to be intentional and think of yourself first. Me first. Isn't that selfish? To the point of dangerous, maybe even. I mean, everything we're taught as a child coming up, as a civilized person in a civilized world, we are supposed to care about others. Most times more than ourselves, right? At least as much as ourselves. The word says, love your neighbor as yourself. It's all over God's word. If you look in Philippians, it says, do nothing from rivalry or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. In 1 Corinthians, 10th chapter, let no one seek his own good, but the good of his neighbor. Yeah. In Romans 12, be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves. It even goes further in Luke, in the 6th chapter. Love your enemies. Do what is good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who mistreat you. I mean, here we are with all this information that plainly states we should esteem others above ourselves and show love to others. Treat others better than we treat ourselves, right? And we're here with this hypothetical emergency crisis situation, and the message, the rule, is basically take care of yourself first. Then worry about other folks. How does that work? I mean, it really goes right along with what society has kind of developed over years and years and years, that me first mentality. It's all about me. I need to do what's best for me. If I don't, I'll likely be left behind, taken advantage of, misused, abused. I gotta look out for me first. Like on the plane, when the oxygen masks pop down, me first, right? Okay, so I'm gonna cut straight to the chase here, and I'm gonna tell you this. It's an important and a vital rule for ensuring survival. Why? Because if you run out of oxygen yourself, you can't help anyone else with their oxygen mask. Or put very simply, if you die, you can't help anybody else. It's an important metaphor, especially for those who spend a great deal of time taking care of others, whether we're taking care of mothers and fathers, if you're a caregiver, if you're a nurse, a teacher, because taking care of others can easily deplete a caregiver. Okay, now I'm going somewhere with this, so keep up. Here we go. If you don't take care of yourself, you can experience all kinds of things: burnout, stress, fatigue, reduced mental effectiveness, health problems all over, anxiety, frustration, insomnia, you can't sleep. You could even die as a caregiver It's the most important thing to be about the business of self-care. Caregivers need to replenish their energy and their reserves in order to take care of other people. Now, here is where we bring all this together. We are all caregivers for each other. You care for me, I care for you. We absolutely need each other. And God's incredible plan for all of us, God structured this thing so that I care for you, but then you care for me. And we are both cared for. Did you get that? Let me repeat that. It's so important. In God's incredible plan for all of us, God structured this thing so that I care for you, but then you care for me, and we are both cared for. Caring for yourself, it isn't selfish. It's actually an act of love and care for your neighbor. The better you are, the better you can be for everyone else. Sometimes, you know how it is. Sometimes we run down that road of helping, serving, working, going for everybody else. And that's great until you hit that wall and then you aren't able to do anything for anybody, not even yourself. When the oxygen mask pops down, if you're traveling with a child or someone who requires assistance, or a neighbor with an issue, or a friend going through, or a stranger needing your gifts, secure your mask on first and then assist the other person. Yeah, that's it. That is it. Self-care, making sure that you are the best you that you can be so you can care for others. Because that's what we're all supposed to be here doing. I care for you. You care for me. We care for our neighbors in the world. And they in turn care for us. And what a beautiful existence it all becomes. Yeah. Hey, here's just a bit more music. I hope it blesses you.
All this pain, I wonder if I'll ever find my way. I wonder if my life could really change at all. All this earth, could all that is lost ever be found? Could a garden come up from this ground at all? You make beautiful things. You make beautiful things out of the dust. You
So, folks, thanks again for joining me. I hope the message blessed you today. I hope the music blessed you as well. Make sure you self-care, care for yourself so you can care for others when the oxygen mask of life pops down in front of you. Put it on first, care for yourself, and then make sure you assist others, okay? All right, like and share and follow this Facebook page. You can subscribe over on YouTube where we're streaming live now as well. Share this with a friend. Make sure that you're doing all this stuff that we're talking about, taking the gifts God has given you and sharing those gifts with the world. The world needs you, and the world needs your gifts. Yes, indeed. God set it up that way. He gave those gifts to you so you can give them to everybody else. Huh? All right. And finally, I'll leave you with this. Maya Angelou says, people might forget what you say and they might forget what you do, but they'll never forget the way you make them feel. So why don't you go out in the world, make somebody feel God's love today? Huh? Hey, have a great day. Peace. Oh, I got my t-shirt. You like that? Yeah. Peace.